You've got a shady yard, and most people treat it like a problem. But what if shade was actually your secret weapon? I'm about to share with you 7 plants I've been installing for 40 years that thrive where the sun doesn't shine. I fix expensive gardening and landscaping problems before they get worse. Oh, and don't skip to the end, because there's a bonus plant that most landscapers never even mention. Hit like, hit subscribe, and let's solve your shade problems right now. What do you say we start tackling the 7 lucky shade plants that I've been planting for 40 years? And the reason why I've been planting and using these plants is because they have longevity in the landscape. That's number 1. Number 2, these are plants that are readily available from your local nursery and garden center. Number 3, I don't have another 3, but they're just really cool plants to have, all right? So the first one, now we're talking shade plants here. We're not talking plants that you would want to take and throw out in the full sun. They will get burned like crazy if you do. And that would be my number 1, Aspidistra elatior. Now, that's a hard one to swallow, isn't it? Aspidistra elatiator. We also call it the cast iron plant. And the reason why I call it the cast iron plant, it's a tough plant. This is one that you'll see at malls. It has a tiny little white flower that's on it. It's got long cylindrical leaves on a long stem, and it's a plant that can take a lot of abuse. If you were to put it in half shade towards the sun, man, this thing really gets burned and it looks ugly. It's best when it's in the shade, and the soil could actually be a lousy soil. It'll grow in just about anything. It grows in a container really well, and it grows in the ground really well. I was at a zoo not long ago, and in front of one of the animal displays that they had there, they had a whole bunch of these all over the place. And I thought it was kind of cool that they had them there, because it was a dark area. They're keeping the animals nice and cool. And that right there is a plant that you can include inside of your landscape, and or put it in a potted plant and put it inside the house and give it a little abuse. Allow it to dry out, and then to come back, it should be just fine. Now, there is a camellia, and it's the Camellia japonica. That is another plant that would grow very well, and does grow very well, in shade. It could be full shade, it could be half shade, primarily afternoon shade if you're going to do it. If it does get the afternoon shade and a little bit of sun in the morning, you will get a lot of flowers. And even if it's in the shade, totally, it'll get flowers. It's a really good plant to have. This is the plant, the Camellia japonica, where when the flowers they'll brown off on you, and you can just shake the plant and they'll just fall off, and then you clean them up underneath it, all right? Or you could just leave it there, let it turn into compost, and it'll refeed the plant. So that Camellia japonica is a plant you may want to consider for your landscape. Again, this can also be a plant that'll be grown very well in a container or grown in the ground. Really doesn't matter. Now, a sister plant to that, which would be number 3, and I didn't include it because with number 2, that's because it could take more shade. It is a really beautiful plant. Oh, by the way, let me digress. The Camellia japonica, if you're into crafty things, you can take stuff like wax, get hot wax, dip the flower in hot wax, and then it'll preserve it so well. It's really, really kind of a cool thing when that happens. All right, so let's go to its cousin, the Camellia sasanqua, also known as the Sasanqua camellia. Yeah, kind of weird, huh? What's really cool about this plant, it takes more shade, absolutely beautiful single-petaled flowers to it, and there's different colors. There's white, and there's pink, and there's reds. Beautiful, beautiful plant. Dark leaf on the top, dark green, and it's a light green on the bottom. And those two plants, they actually work very well with each other. Now, so far, all of these plants, you can put them in the ground especially, you need to have an acidic soil. Most of your shade plants need acidic soil. So make sure you get a pH reading on your soil first. Now, the other one that I absolutely love, I've been growing it for years here at the thingsgreen.com Botanical Gardens. It is the Aucuba japonica. Is that not one of the coolest names you can imagine? Aucuba japonica. Oh, I love that. Aucuba japonica is also known as the gold dust plant. Big leaves on it. Big leaves. We're talking leaves that get 6 to 8 inches, 4 inches wide. There's different variegations of the plant. I love the classic one where it looks like someone took paint and just threw a bunch of paint on it, and there's speckles all over the leaves. Light green speckles, dark green leaf. Beautiful, gorgeous plant. However, there's a lot of variations to where maybe the edges are just the lighter green and the center is a dark green. And again, the way they've hybridized them to do different things is really kind of cool. But it's got to be a plant that you need in your landscape for those shady areas. Maybe it's on the side of the house, maybe it's under the patio. Big, like I said, big leaves on it, easy to clean up, and the best part is it's relatively insect and disease free. The next one I clumped together, even though the plants they're a little bit different, but they're not. And that would be azaleas and rhododendrons. Yes, deer love these things, but you've got products out there that you could spray in the plant that'll keep the deer off of them. But they are absolutely a beautiful flowering plant in the shade. Normally we think sun plants will do this, but these shade plants do this very, very well. There's varieties that get really, really tiny, and of course the rhododendrons, they can get 6, 8, 10 feet tall if you allow them to. Regardless, pruning of these things, you don't want to shear them. You want to thin the plants out. That would be the best for that. The next thing would be the hydrangea. Those beautiful powder puff flowers on the hydrangea. Now they are getting different colors, and they also have different formations. They're kind of like triangular flowers. Look for those at your local nursery and garden center. I happen to like the big powder puff ones, and they're just a great plant and last years in the landscape. The seventh one and the last one is anything in the Hosta family. Oh, the Hostas are just so beautiful. They're not known for their flowers, albeit they do get a little tiny flower. So grow them for the leaf. And there's different colors, different variations, and these are smaller plants. They don't all get really huge. I mean, some of them will get 4 feet tall, but a lot of them will stay really small, great container plants as well. Now, if you want some bonus plants over here for the shade, anything in the fern family. We're talking rabbit's foot fern, Boston fern, Australian tree fern, which looks nothing like the rest of them. These are great plants to have in the landscape, which you will absolutely enjoy, and understand that these are plants that I've been planting for at least 40 years plus. And on top of that, they'll live that long as well.